There are many odd things in Pokemon. Well, most of them, especially the most recent ones, have explanations and reasons if you search a bit. But others are a bit random and kind of silly, like some Pokemon stats. As you know, numerical values that define the power and performance of the different Pokemon in battle. Today, I would like to check some curious, even surprising stats that are not consistent with reality or that apparently go against the concept or biology of the Pokemon itself, while trying to find an explanation or a possible reason for that dissonance. Actually, this video and everything we'll talk about, it's fine. No one is losing sleep over Kricketoona's special attack. Just take it as an excuse to, as usual, have a good time with Pokemon. Let's start with the classic, Onyx. Has anyone else besides me always found this critter, how to say it without offending it? I love you a lot. I don't want you to cry, seriously. It certainly has a great defense and even a surprisingly respectable speed for a massive rock giant, which I guess makes sense judging by its great digging skill and speed, and because it's based on a snake. But what the hell is that attack? Seriously, a 29 feet beast made up of rock and capable of piercing the ground at 80 kilometers per hour is unable to cause more physical damage than Joltik? Biologically, it doesn't make much sense. But one possibility that comes to my mind is, you know those rumors that the first leader wasn't going to be Brock, and in the end he was swapped? Maybe they put Brock as the first leader at the last minute and nerfed Onyx because of it? Not that it makes much sense either, because there are other rock-type Pokemon more suitable for this context, but it's just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching. Even after evolving into Steelix, its offensive power is still super disappointing. For example, the little Trapinch beats both of them by far with its more than respectable 100 points, which doesn't bother me. It's always a little weird that a final evolution doesn't surpass its initial stage, but it makes sense being the concept of Trapinch so linked to the great power of its jaw and changing so much its morphology with the evolution. So Flygon's 100 base attack points are a bit short for me, but as I say, that's not his problematic stat for me, but its speed. I don't want to keep repeating this sentence during the whole video, but am I the only one who has always seen Flygon as a dragon that was not overly powerful, but that stood out for its great speed? 100 points, even though technically it's a little bit above the average dragon type, is incredibly disappointing for a Pokemon that my mind has always associated with the idea of being fast and aerodynamic. Interestingly, and to my surprise, the Pokédex does not refer to it being especially fast, so maybe it's all just my head playing tricks on me. Perhaps its frequent use with the choice scarf had something to do with that association. I don't know. One that the Pokédex does mention about its speed and comes out much worse is Vikavolt. Well, not exactly. Although it doesn't refer as such to its speed, it does talk about how it flusters opponents with acrobatic flying maneuvers, and okay, it learns acrobatics, well played, but to flusters its opponents with acrobatic flying maneuvers, I don't know. I understand that it should at least be able to fly at a good speed, since I don't think anyone would be very flustered by this. But Vikavolt not only doesn't stand out for its speed, but with 43 base points, it's one of the slowest Pokemon in the region with the slowest Pokemon, Alola. Being this Pokemon partially based on a railgun, a weapon that makes use of a magnetic field to shoot at high speed, it's a weird decision to make it so slow. Similar cases are other bugs like Scizor, one of the fastest Pokemon in the anime that nevertheless leaves a lot to be desired in that statistic in the games, although I guess that's more a problem of the anime than anything else, since it's quite logical that when acquiring its steel layer with the metal coat it loses speed. Escavalier not only shares the same type, but is very similar in concept. Its speed plummets when it evolves because it starts wearing an armor for which its body didn't seem very prepared. In the same way that Axelgor becomes the fastest Pokemon in its region when it gets rid of it. But then why does the Pokédex insist on emphasizing the frenetic speed of its spear attacks? Is it some kind of reference to jousting? Does Escavalier need to ride a Rapidash to be fast? I don't think that's a very good idea. Another critter that must be mentioned when talking about crazy stats is Shuckle. Its stats in general are a mess, but the one that particularly bothers me is its HP. Seriously, I understand that its defenses are so galactic that a high amount of HP would make it immortal, but 20? Are you Shedinja or something? I think they went a bit overboard because I understand that this amount may have something to do with its ability to store berries and create juice with these. You know, berry juice restores very little HP, but in Shuckle's case, he has so little that even that small amount works for it, which maybe makes some sense that biologically it's adapted to that. But I don't know, dude. Give it a few more points. It's a waste to ruin a Pokemon with such incredible defenses and quite justified in concept. Wobbuffet is somehow the opposite. While Shuckle shines for its defenses but needs hit points, making it difficult to get the most out of it, Wobbuffet has a massive amount of HP, but very poor defenses that make it not resist so well. However, in this case, it's much better designed, and to a certain extent it favors Wobbuffet, since with its combat style, which is to return the opponent's attacks with a strength proportional to theirs, it's better for it to receive the more damage the better, and withstand it well. In its own generation, it was not very useful competitively, since it was enough to switch to a Pokemon capable of causing residual damage to completely neutralize its strategy. However, in the 3rd and 4th generation with Shadow Tag, it was so good that it was banned. In general, I consider this one of the best achieved Pokemon concepts, but I still find its stats a bit weird. Supposedly, it never attacks first, but it has moves with no negative priority, and there are plenty of slower Pokemon. So, that's wrong? Plus, it has low attack, but hey, there it is, and it can never take advantage of that stat, unless you have one of those event Wobbuffet with Mimic, but honestly, that's already a bit of a stretch. Shedinja is a similar case. Many people find it strange that Nincada has twice as much defense as its evolutions, but to me, it seems perfectly logical, even very ingenious, that as it evolves, it leaves behind its shell that comes to life as Shedinja. Its defense is divided in two. It's very well thought out, and it's a great concept, but as with Wobbuffet, it's ironic and even a bit annoying that those defense and special defense stats are 100% irrelevant. Let's keep going with defense, and next one is Dialga. How do I say this? Its 120 points are excellent, but I don't know, you would expect more from the diamond Pokemon, you know, the hardest mineral known. But dear Dialga, if this scratches you, wait, because the worst is yet to come. There is a Pokemon in the same generation that surpasses it in defense. Exactly, Leafeon, a leaf. The greatest symbol of fragility and delicacy that comes to my mind right now, with more defense than a diamond. It's true that evolutions always play with the idea of keeping the same base stats combined in a different way and changing the dominant one. That's perfect. But was it necessary to make good in defense precisely the one that is a leaf? But the Pokemon I have left for the end is a similar and at the same time different case. It exists, and in a way it doesn't. The alpha Pokemon, Arceus. It's reasonable that being the closest thing to a creator deity in Pokemon, they didn't want to make it stand out in a specific statistic. I mean, it's supposed to be a complete being that doesn't need or lack in anything and is in perfect balance, okay? But the problem I have with its stats is the same as with the Pokemon itself. It's too normal, literally. While, yeah, it's strong, there are a lot of Pokemon that beat it in each of its stats, as well as several Pokemon that beat it in the overall sum of these, which doesn't make much sense if you ask me. Arceus is perhaps the most secretive Pokemon ever, in the sense that it's the only one whose event had never been released until the remakes, and well, everything seemed to indicate that they would do something with it there or in Legends. So, it was a bit disappointing that everything remained the same as before. And Arceus, as it is, seems a bit bland to me, but at the same time, I like the uncertainty and mystery it generates. I know that there must be something more, but I don't know if I want them to show it to me because the unknown is also charming in a way, like you are for watching my videos. But you can be a little bit more by leaving a like and following me on social media to support all the effort I'm putting in to bring more content with the highest quality possible. If you're interested in learning more about Pokemon, take a look at the videos you have on screen right now. Farewell.